Do you want to study smarter, not harder? It's a question we've all asked ourselves at some point. In this bustling world, we're constantly on the hunt for ways to make our lives more efficient, to get the most out of the limited time we have. And studying, whether it's for school, work, or personal growth, is no exception. Today, we're going to explore 7 tips that will help you study smarter, not harder. These are tried and true strategies that can help you streamline your study sessions, enhance your comprehension, and reduce the time you spend hitting the books, all while learning more. We're not just talking about simple hacks or quick fixes. These are practical, actionable steps that you can start implementing right away to revolutionize your study habits. So, are you ready to revolutionize your study habits? Let's dig in. Tip number 1, prioritize your tasks. Now, why is prioritizing tasks so crucial, you may wonder? Well, it's not just about getting things done, it's about getting the right things done. You see, not all tasks are created equal. Some are more important and more difficult than others. These are the tasks you should tackle first. By focusing on your most important and challenging tasks first, you're leveraging the time when your energy and focus are at their peak. This way, you're able to give these tasks the attention they deserve, enabling you to absorb and understand the material more effectively. On the other hand, leaving the tough tasks for last can lead to inefficiency and frustration. When you're drained of energy, it's harder to learn and retain information. So, the next time you sit down to study, remember to prioritize. Put the most important and difficult tasks at the top of your list. Remember, your energy is limited, so use it wisely by prioritizing your tasks. Moving on to tip number 2, use active recall. So, what's this all about? Well, active recall is a study strategy that involves bringing information to mind from your memory without the help of cues. It's like trying to recall the plot of your favorite movie without watching it again. You're actively engaging your brain, forcing it to dig up the information you've stored away. Now, why is this so beneficial? Studies have shown that active recall significantly improves memory and retention. It's like a workout for your brain. The more you flex those memory muscles, the stronger they become. You can practice active recall by testing yourself regularly. After reading a chapter or watching a lecture, try to summarize what you've learned without looking at your notes. You'll be surprised to see how much you remember. So, next time you study, don't just passively read through your notes. Challenge your brain, engage with the material, and actively recall what you've learned. Active recall, a simple yet powerful tool to enhance your memory. Our third tip is to take breaks. Now, I know what you're thinking. Breaks? Aren't those for slackers? Not at all, my friends. Breaks are essential for efficient learning. Let's talk about the Pomodoro technique. This is a time management method that encourages people to work with the time they have rather than against it. Here's how it works. You set a timer for 25 minutes and dedicate those minutes to undisturbed focus. When the timer rings, you take a short 5-minute break. After every 4th Pomodoro, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. These breaks serve to refresh the mind, allowing you to maintain focus and absorb information more effectively. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain. So remember, taking breaks isn't about slacking off, it's about working smarter. Taking breaks is not being lazy, it's being smart. Tip number 4, use mnemonics. Now, let's talk about a technique that can turn your brain into a super-powered memory machine. Enter the world of mnemonics. Mnemonics are memory devices that help you remember bits of information. They work by associating easy-to-remember constructs with data you want to remember. Think about the time when you learned the order of planets in our solar system. Remember, my very educated mother just served us noodles? That's a mnemonic. Each first letter of the phrase represents a planet, making it easier to remember their order. Mnemonics can be applied to any subject, whether you're studying anatomy, history, or a foreign language. They break down complex information into digestible, memorable chunks. So next time you're struggling to remember a tough concept, create a fun and catchy mnemonic to help it stick in your mind. Mnemonics, your secret weapon to remember complex information. Moving on to tip number 5, teach what you've learned. Ever heard of the Feynman technique? Named after the Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman, it's a method that emphasizes teaching as a means to deepen your understanding. The idea is simple. After you've studied a topic, try to explain it in your own words as if you were teaching it to someone else. Doing this forces you to simplify complex information and break it down into understandable chunks. This not only reinforces what you've learned, but also helps you identify areas where your understanding might be shaky. If you stumble while explaining or find certain areas particularly tricky to convey, these are likely the areas you need to revisit and study more intensely. So, don't just keep what you've learned to yourself. Share it, explain it, teach it. It's an excellent way to test your comprehension and consolidate your knowledge. Teach to learn, a simple yet effective strategy. Our sixth tip is to stay healthy. This is an essential, yet often overlooked component of effective studying. You might be wondering, how does health relate to studying? Well, let me tell you. The fuel you put into your body significantly affects your cognitive function. Eating balanced meals packed with nutrients can boost your memory and concentration, helping you absorb information more efficiently. So remember to keep those fruits, veggies, and whole grains on your plate. And let's not forget about exercise. Regular physical activity increases blood flow to your brain, enhancing its function. Even a quick 10-minute walk can do wonders. Lastly, never underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. Sleep is when your brain consolidates what you've learned, transferring information from short-term to long-term memory. So ensure you're getting those 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. A healthy body houses a healthy mind. Don't neglect it. Our final tip is to stay consistent. Consistency, folks, is one of the unsung heroes of success. It's often overlooked, but it's the backbone of any real progress. You see, the brain loves patterns. It thrives on repetition. It's how we form habits and how we learn. So when it comes to studying, regular, consistent study sessions are your best bet. Think about it. Would you rather run a 100-yard dash with all your might, or would you rather take a leisurely jog every day? Sure, the dash might seem impressive, but it's the jogger who's building endurance, strength, and stamina. Similarly, cramming might get you through a test, but it's the consistent study that builds knowledge comprehension and retention. Studying is not about flashy moments of genius. It's about showing up day in and day out. It's about putting in the time, even when it's hard, even when it's boring. Consistency is key. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Now let's quickly recap the 7 tips to study smarter. We began by talking about the importance of prioritizing your tasks. By focusing on the most important and challenging tasks first, you're able to dedicate your peak energy levels to them. This helps in getting more done in less time. Next, we discussed the power of active recall. This involves actively testing your memory during the learning process. By frequently quizzing yourself, you strengthen your memory and retention of the material. Then we moved on to the crucial aspect of taking breaks. Remember, your brain isn't designed to focus for hours on end. So incorporate short breaks into your study sessions to maintain high productivity and prevent burnout. Our 4th tip was about using mnemonics. These memory-enhancing tools, such as acronyms or visual images, can make complex information more digestible and easier to remember. In the 5th segment, we emphasized the importance of teaching what you've learned. By explaining the material to someone else, you're not just helping them, but also reinforcing your own understanding and identifying gaps in your knowledge. Next, we talked about staying healthy. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep are all vital for optimal brain function. So don't neglect your health in the pursuit of academic excellence. Finally, we discussed the need for consistency. Studying a little bit every day is far more effective than cramming. Establish a regular study routine and stick to it for best results. Each of these tips are designed to help you study smarter, not harder. They can help you to learn more effectively, retain information longer, and ultimately perform better in your academic or professional life. Remember, studying smarter can make all the difference. So, implement these tips and see the magic happen. Until next time, happy studying. Thank you for tuning into this video and showing your support for self-education and lifelong learning. If you found this content valuable, please like and subscribe.